So in college, studying can be like a really difficult thing to do because like there's really that culture of no matter where you put your time, you're going to be missing out on something else. So most people don't even want to study because they know like I could be going to this meeting, I could be going to this party, I could be hanging out with friends, having fun, doing something else. So usually studying gets pushed to the side. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about like how you can do 5 different things that is going to make your studying way more efficient. Even if you're low on time, this is going to help you out and help you to be able to study better. So my first tip is to just be organized. You're going to want to take notes in every single one of your classes. What I do is I have a notebook for each of my classes. So I walk into that class, I look for the notebook that has that class's name on it, I pull it out, and I make sure to go to a new page for every single new class we have. Date the top of the page, and then after the class is over and I've taken my notes, give that a heading about what that day's class was about. So when I'm going back to look for the kind of stuff that I need to look for to study for, I can just look at the headings and see, oh, this is what this page of notes is about. And honestly, I could probably do an entire video on note-taking because note-taking is a very key important part of the studying process. If you haven't taken any, don't worry, you still have plenty of resources out there for you, but I highly suggest always taking notes in class. Another way to be organized is you also want to keep your desk very clean. Don't put anything on your desk that doesn't need to be on your desk. Put it in a drawer or something, wherever it needs to go. Just don't have your desk cluttered. Don't have a lot of messy trash on it or any distractions or anything. I mean, I say that and then I got a Rubik's Cube on my desk. But you want to keep the desk as clean, as neat as possible so you can focus on your work. That's the main focus of the entire desk, is the papers, the books, whatever it is that's right in front of you. My second tip sort of goes along with that, and it's no distractions. So what you need to do when you sit down and do your dedicated time to study, I want you to simply take your phone, go ahead and hold down the power button, power it off, and throw it in a drawer. That way, you're never going to be able to check your phone, because if you needed to check your phone, you would have to pull it out of the desk and then power it on. Also, if you're using your laptop, you want to put that into full screen mode so you can't like go up and switch tabs and Google something and end up on YouTube watching videos for 2 hours. So simply, both on Mac and Windows, you can press F11 on any tab and it's going to full screen that tab to where you are stuck in that space, to where you're just in your own study space and you can't really get out unless you really force yourself to. My third tip is to use everything the teacher gives you. This one seems kind of obvious, but if the teacher gives you a worksheet, you need to sit down and do that worksheet. Even if it's optional, just sit down and do it. That's your study time right there, just practicing that kind of questions that are going to be on the test. If they put the PowerPoints up that they use in their lectures, then you go through the PowerPoint and take notes on that PowerPoint that you hadn't already done. And of course, read the textbook over and over again. Take notes on it. If it's your textbook and you feel like you want to keep it and you feel like you can write on it, go ahead and get a highlighter, start highlighting things in it, and then you can go back multiple times and look at the stuff you highlighted, make sure that's in your notes, and use that kind of information for other stuff. Like, use it for fun methods for creating sort of study games and all that, and that's sort of going to go into number 4. And number 4 is use fun methods. So like you can create a Quizlet. Quizlet is one of the most helpful things for studying. You can create all kinds of study games on there by simply just creating stuff like a word and then a definition that goes with it, and then it gives you like I think 4 or 5 options as games. If you don't like Quizlet, you can use something like Kahoot or Quizzies. You can just play against yourself and see how high of a score you can get. Or think about this. usually people are like, hey, you want to come hang out? And they're like, no, I have to study. So they basically, everyone has this concept that you have to go and study by yourself or alone. But I think probably the most helpful way to study is study with friends in your class. So if you know multiple people in your class that need to study as well, you all need to get together and you can do stuff like a Kahoot or a Quizzes, and you can play against each other. And I think that by far, giving that sort of competitive type of thing to your studying makes you want to learn stuff more. If your goal is to like beat somebody in a game based on the knowledge you know and that type of thing, then you're gonna want to know the material a lot more. Honestly, my best way to study is those types of things. Like playing games against other people makes me want to learn the material more. And then if you get a question wrong and someone else gets it right, then you're actually going to remember that a lot more than if you were just like doing your little worksheet, you turn it in and the teacher gives it back to you and you got some X's. Like you're just gonna throw it to the side. But in a game where you really feel like you're involved and it matters and you're super invested in it, then honestly, I think that's going to make you want to know the material a lot more. Your brain's going to store it in there better. So I actually just finished up some studying and was editing the video and realized I didn't ever give my 5th tip, and that is to take breaks. Taking breaks is one of the most important things you can do, because if you study for hours and hours on end, you're going to feel fatigued and you're not going to want to study, you're not going to want to learn, and eventually you're just going to stop storing stuff in your memory. So what I would suggest is take some time and listen to some music, play a short video game, like nothing more than 15-20 minutes, watch a YouTube video, do something like that. Just take a break, and just remember, never put too much pressure on yourself. There's so many kids out there not even studying. You wanting to study automatically is going to help you improve your grades and do better in school. And that is my 5 tips to studying more efficiently, whether you're in college, in high school. This actually applies to anything. And yeah, I want to thank you for sticking around until the end of the video, and I will see you tomorrow.